In the first round of racing at the Amsoil Arenacross Series, we saw the Team Babbitt's Monster Energy Kawasaki riders dominate the night. All 6 main event podium spots were filled by the Babbitt's team, with Chris Blows taking the first overall of the year. Can they do it again? Stay tuned and find out. We're in Van Andel Arena in Grand Rapids, Michigan for stop number 2 of Amsoil Arenacross, featuring Ricky Carmichael's Road to Supercross on Fox Sports 1. Hello, everyone. Welcome inside. I'm Robbie Floyd. This is Daniel Blair, Amsoil Arenacross and Supercross veteran. And Daniel, this is stop 2, but when you look back at stop number 1 in Cincinnati, riders are flying all over the place. Some of the guys not even making it out of their heats into the main events, doing well. A lot of things were happening. But one thing I know is that 3 of our title rivals from last year weren't even in the top 10 overall.
Yeah, it was very strange to see. Riders like Mike McDade, Corey Green, Kyle Regal, these are the heavy hitters. These are our championship contenders, and to see them not inside the top 10 was very strange. But you know what? The Babbitt's Kawasaki guys, they had a good night.
Yeah, they looked really strong. There are 3 riders on the top 3 spots of that podium. Can they do it again this week?
Well, team manager Denny Bart sure hopes they can, but I'll tell you what. Matt Gerke, Chris Blows, these are 2 of the newcomers into Arenacross. They came right in and had no problem at all.
Yeah, but what about their teammate, Zach Ames? I mean, he looked like he was strong and he was consistent.
Yeah, he had a rough start to his night, but he recovered, made the best of it, and came away with 2nd overall on the night. Very, very good ride for him.
And then you have the new Babbitt's Kawasaki rider, Jacob Hayes, looking for that title. Looking at tonight's show format, heat races, last chance qualifier, head-to-head, bracket race, and of course, those 2 main events. But before we get to racing, Daniel Blair caught up with one of the title contenders a little bit earlier.
All right, I'm with Zach Ames. Zach, unfortunate accident last night. Took you out of last night's racing. What's the severity of the injury?
I had a pretty bad practice crash earlier yesterday. I sprained my wrist pretty good. Just gonna opt out of this weekend in Grand Rapids. With the points reset the way it is, I can come back for the top 10 at the end of the year and put a hurting on these boys.
You started out the weekend good last weekend in Cincinnati. Had a rough night, but you made the best of it. Able to still get on the podium. Do you feel like you're strong enough that once you come back, you'll be able to make a run at this championship?
Yeah, of course. I prepared more than I did last year, and last year I was one of the top guys last year, but no, after I'm going to get this taken care of, get back to 100%, and come back here and finish this series out strong.
Quite a unique track here at Grand Rapids as far as the dirt consistency. Yeah, it's hard packed, has some loose stuff as well, but it makes for some interesting racing. Corey Green got to ride a little earlier with our onboard track preview brought to you by GoPro Hero 4.
Got a traditional layout this week. You're going to bank off this wall, hit a really, really good set of whoops. These guys are struggling in practice. We'll see how the night develops. Coming into a tight corner here, and the rhythm section is going to be tough tonight as well. The guys that can get out of that corner well are going to be able to get the big jumps done. Coming into the last corner before the finish line, block pass and possibilities. Over the finish line, guys going to want to protect their inside right here.
And there's a lap here in Grand Rapids. You can see it can get a little bit slippery. Let's take a look back at last night, the first night of racing here in Grand Rapids. Thing got ugly in a hurry. A great start by Kyle Regal in the 4.
Yeah, Kyle's been getting great starts all season, and he continued it last night in Grand Rapids. Took an early lead and got himself checked out.
But look what happens just behind him. Chris Blows goes down and goes down hard. A tough block from that first lap. Got kicked into his lane. He had nowhere to go.
Yeah, it's a horrible break for our points leader.
And look what happens here.
Wow, Bobby Canary came in and said, hey, Corey Green, I want the spot, but I'm going to go down with you.
And then again, Bobby wasn't through. That was a hard hit on Dave Janolfi right there.
Yeah, luckily for Dave, he had an Arai helmet on there, so it protected his skull pretty good.
Kyle Regal gets the whole shot, and he gets the main event victory. But look at this. After the race, Corey Green says, you want some of me? I want some of you.
Yeah, he was not very happy at all. Went into the pits, and this dragged on for a little bit. And I'll tell you what, when you're out front in a race, you get taken out like that, you're not a happy camper.
Canary upset with himself, and he's got to wipe that out of his mind. Tonight is a new night of racing. Looking at the point standings, Jacob Hayes now will have the red background if he can hold it after tonight. Heading into our next stop, Gerke second, Blows in third. These top 10 riders, you want to be in that top 10 if you're going to race for that championship later on. Well, the fans are piling in here. You don't go anywhere. Kick back, grab something to drink. We've got a lot more Amsoil Arenacross. Welcome back to Amsoil Arenacross featuring Ricky Carmichael's Road to Supercross on Fox Sports 1. Robbie Floyd, Daniel Blair here with you in Grand Rapids at Van Andel Arena. There was a great race last night. These fans are hoping to see another one here tonight. Last year, he was a rookie. This year, he's the sophomore sensation. We caught up with the Babbitt's Monster Energy Kawasaki rider, Jacob Hayes.
Yeah, last year coming in, I was kind of like the unknown guy. You know, I had been heard of, but they didn't really know how I was going to do on a national Arenacross level. So, like I said, took a good stab at it. And I wasn't really satisfied with second place last year, but, you know, I had a lot of things to learn, and I was a rookie. So, you know, it was good learning experience. And then coming in with the number 2 plate this year, I think it raises the bar a little bit. I knew I had a lot of hard work to do, and I knew things were going to be a little bit tougher, you know. You're expected to do certain things, win certain races, and, you know, that comes with a huge weight on your shoulders. So did a bunch of preparation before the series, and I think I'm handling it pretty well. And this year, I got a call from Denny Bartz with Team Babbitt's Monster Energy, Amsoil, Kawasaki, and super excited to be on a wonderful team such as, you know, those guys. They run a great program. I'm really excited to be aboard, you know, the Kawasaki. And tonight here in Grand Rapids, just be smooth and consistent. Another solid night. Last night, I think I used my head a lot. You know, like I said, there's a lot of stuff going on. You gotta kind of control the chaos almost, and you gotta get good starts. And I think I executed the plan last night. Me and Travis, you know, had a plan going into the night and executed it really well. So came away with my first overall of the season. I was really excited about that. So the goal is pretty much the same tonight: get through practice and set my sights on the overall.
And when you have the mechanic known as the Stash on your side, things are looking good for Jacob Hayes. Here we go, heat race number 1, 15 riders, 10 laps. We take the top 7 directly to the main event. Who's going to get that hole shot? Some big names in here. Jacob Hayes, Gerke, Regal, Steinke. Regal with another hole shot this year? No, Jacob Hayes, number 2.
Yeah, Hayes shut him down. But Gerke got to the inside. Darian Sinai, the Road to Supercross rider, getting a good start as well. But it looks like Jacob Hayes is going to come away with your whole shot.
Sinai, the Team Green Kawasaki rider, you see different options going through that rhythm section.
Yeah, it's a tough rhythm section this week. You're going to see most of the guys go double, triple. It's the easier route, and as this track breaks down, it's the one they're going to stick with.
You see the green flag waving. Green means go, and you're seeing a lot of green up front, much like we saw back in Cincinnati. Jacob Hayes, Matt Gerke. You notice the backgrounds. We'll see a couple of red backgrounds this week.
Yeah, well, these two guys are sharing the points lead at the moment. Jacob Hayes actually has the tiebreaker because of last weekend's win. But they're both battling it out front in this heat race, battling out in the championship as well. And Jacob Hayes, he's been getting good starts. He's going good through the whoops, and that's something we've seen a huge improvement on with him this season.
Kyle Regal back in third of the tough Husqvarna.
It looks like Darian Sinai, the Road to Supercross rider, is up to 4th place in this heat race.
And he's an amateur. Now he's a professional trying to make it through that Ricky Carmichael Road to Supercross. He's a Team Green rider, worked his way up the ladder, and now he's showing his professional skills.
Yeah, well, he was with us last year for a couple of rounds, and he wasn't able to finish his Road to Supercross points because of an injury. So he's back this year, and I'll tell you, he seems like a lot more mature racer, and he's riding very, very good so far.
Little clutch adjustment there by Gerke. Also a helmet adjustment as well. You have to adjust on the fly. Kyle Regal, who seems to be the king of the head-to-head matchup back there in third spot. The top 7 make it to the main. Sinai, he looks like he's trying to get far back in the back of that bike to hit those whoops hard.
Yeah, he is, and that's one of the improvements we've seen with him this year, is the ability to go through whoops. And that's something we've seen with Kyle Regal as well. Getting on the Husqvarna, it's a different machine that reacts to different parts of the tracks differently. And he says that he really likes the way this bike's working in the whoops, and he had to make a little bit of an adaptation to his style, but overall he seems to like it.
Well, the guy behind him on that Kawasaki, Sinai, he looks pretty darn strong as well. Having to seat bounce to get the clearance down. You're not shooting out a lot, but it gives you the height to hopefully make that downside. But if you don't, it's going to bring you to a stop in a hurry.
Yeah, well, that's the difference in the rhythm section. You'll see guys going double, triple, and then some guys, Kyle and maybe Jacob Hayes, I saw them in practice, be able to get the triple in. It's very, very difficult this week. So we'll have to see as the night goes on which line develops and turns into that fast race line.
It seems like Hayes right there looked like he had more momentum, taking the short approach coming out and then launching. Out's always better than up.
Yeah, that's true. Now we're 8 laps into this heat race, and he's already into lap traffic, so what he's going to want to do is definitely just steer clear of the riders and get this race over with.
Sinai in 4th. David Ginolfi in 5th. Steve Roman 6th. Jared Steinke in 7th. That's the cutoff line. You see your favorite riders on the left. Mike McDade, a series regular, not in the main event as it stands right now.
Yeah, he's sitting one spot out. But I'll tell you what, even if you're Dave Ginolfi or Steve Roman or Jared Steinke, yes, you've made the main, you're in the position to qualify, but you want to be top 4 in these things. You want that extra point in the head-to-head racing. You also want the front row gate in the main event. So making the main is a good thing, but getting the top 4 is what you're really looking for in this heat race.
Absolutely. Spotlights on your leader, the last lap. Heat race number 1. Jacob Hayes got a good start and an even better run, but, trying to follow those lines. Matt Kirky, he's waiting for a little mistake. He might be able to take advantage. Both of those guys taking the same rhythm. One right-hand turn, and Jacob Hayes, the series points leader, is going to take the heat race win, and he'll either get first or second pick of the starting gate for the main events. Looking at the heat race results, Hayes with the victory, Gerke, Regal, Sinai, Ginolfi, Roman, Steinke, those are the guys moving on to the main. What is wrong with Mike McDade?
You know what, I'm not sure. He's looked okay in practice. He's just had some bad luck and had a bad run, and this isn't the Mike McDade we've seen in the past, so hopefully he gets his act together.
Jacob Hayes, congratulations on a wire-to-wire victory. Let me guess, that's exactly how you wanted to start the night.
Yeah, got off to another great start. My Team Babbitt's Motion Energy Amsoil Kawasaki is ripping out of the whole shot. My Dunlop tires are hooking up really good, and the track's really tough this weekend. Checkers have paired us with a really nice track, so I'm super excited for the 2 main events that we got tonight. Had a good main last night, so hopefully we have a couple more of those.
Good run and a big smile for Jacob Hayes. Junior Jackson's ready to get his rider into the main event. We still have a lot more Amsoil Arenacross for Van Andel Arena right after this. When you show up for the Ricky Carmichael Road to Supercross, you are stepping up to the plate and facing some of the best riders in the world of Arenacross.
Yeah, it's very exciting to watch these young kids come in and get that experience needed to move on to Supercross. And I'll tell you what, these kids are aggressive and they are not afraid of the bright lights or the veteran riders in the series.
They're definitely showing their skills early this season and also taking some Arenacross Lights wins. Now we re-rack and restack, get ready for heat race number 2. 15 riders, 10 laps, only 7 move on to the main. You don't want to have to ride that LCQ. Bobby Canary, we see him on the 116, middle to inside. We saw a lot of bar banging from him last night.
Yeah, we did, and we're seeing the debut ride of Gavin Faith, and also in this heat race, Corey Green, who last week was not able to make the main event. I'm sure he wants to get right in it right now.
Look for him, number 5 on that far outside to the left. It's a left-hand turn. That's the long way around. We'll see if Corey can get a good start. Good drive. He needs to shut him down, but no, it looks like the inside pushes him wide.
Yeah, Gavin Faith with the whole shot. Welcome to Arenacross. Gets the whole shot, heat number 2, and
power
blitzes through those whoops.
Oh, man. Welcome to Arenacross, everybody.
Yeah.
Gavin Faith, who rode Monster Energy Supercross last year. In the past few years, he actually was racing Supercross over in Europe coming into this weekend. So it's his literally first taste of Arenacross this year.
Yeah, this is his first taste, but he's looking good. He looked really good in practice, too. And this is a guy I'm expecting a lot of things out of. He's coming in with a lot of hype. Guys think that he's going to be a possible title threat, and we'll have to see how the night goes for him.
But he hasn't been practicing on this bike. How much of a factor do you think that'll be tonight?
It's actually a big factor, swapping bikes and even swapping bike sizes. He's been riding a 450 and he's getting down on this little 250 now. But a guy at this caliber, I think he'll have no problem adapting. It might take him a night or two, but he'll be okay.
And developing that suspension and tying it in your mechanic, being able to relay that information. You see him on the break there, the 617 out in front. The top 7 move directly to the main. Zont on the inside, Herline on the inside, Green now on the outside trying to get in that 7.
Yeah, not a great start for Corey Green. Like we said, he had a rough weekend last weekend, and he's going to want to get in here right now and just get into that main event and get to work.
Uneventful for Bobby Canary. I have to keep looking at him after that crazy night he had last night. And Canary now starting to move up a little bit, trying to close in on Steve Mages, the 12.
Yeah, after what Corey Green and Dave Ginolfi went through last night dealing with Bobby Canary, if I'm Steven Mages right now, I'm trying to get away because Bobby is not afraid to come in there and rough it up.
Thermotech Yamaha FMC rider closing in on the KTM. Mages been doing this for quite a while in Arenacross. Slack-aware KTM out of Sardinia, Ohio.
Stephen Mage has been very impressive this year so far. He's always been a really fast rider. he just kind of lacked that consistency. But so far, seeing something new with him this season, he's been able to put main events together, and he's looking a lot more solid.
Why is that, do you think?
I think it's just time. After you've been in the series for a while, you kind of develop an understanding for how it works, and just the maturity level rises. And it's definitely something that we've all noticed and seeing. Stephen Mages, wow, he's there every single night now. He's there every main event. It's definitely been a huge improvement for him.
Setting up, you start to see some kickers going into that last left-hand turn. Also, watch the way he hits the whoops here. He was trying to wheel tap, pop right there, and then he has to find a rhythm. The last one, that last time, that was better on the exit. That last time kind of kicked him up, but that wheel tap, if you can find a rhythm, you can go through there fast.
Well, if you're Willie Browning, you're looking for the rhythm. He's one of the best guys at jumping whoops. He's always trying to find that hot ticket to the whoops. So watch him drive this heat race. He's going to figure it out, because when main event comes around, he'll be the guy that's hopping through those better than anybody.
Travis Sewell in the top 5. Erline in 6th. 7th is Green now. Van Buskirk in 8th. He's got to turn it up a notch. This is only a 10-lap race. As you're looking at the leader, Gavin Faith in his first AMSOIL Arenacross race of 2015. And it looks like he's been doing it his whole life. He likes the single approach, just manhandling his Husqvarna through the whoops.
Yeah, he's going the physical route, not afraid to use his muscle and just hold that bike down. And, it really just depends on the rider. Different guys have different styles, and they want to do what they want to do. Willie Browning likes to jump them. Dave Ginolfi, he's a guy that likes to jump them too, but Gavin Faith has no problem just laying it down and hammering through those things.
Mages better start guarding those insides. Bobby Canary starting to close down. You saw how fast he was in that rhythm section. Let's see how Gavin does it. He doubles, then only doubles out. He knows he's got a comfortable lead. The race is back there at 2nd, 3rd, all the way through 7th. So Gavin Faith takes his victory in heat race number 2. Mages comes across, and Bobby Canary, no incidences here on second night of racing. But we still have plenty more. And those top 4, remember, go to the head-to-head bracket race. So the 7 make it will be Faith, Mages, Canary, Browning, Sewell, Erline, and Green. They go to the main event. Everybody else, you go to the last chance qualifier.
Gavin, last night you made your debut to Arenacross. I know things didn't go exactly the way you wanted them to, but you got to be happy with the way you started out tonight.
Yeah, definitely. My Ty-Lube tough racing Husqvarna got me out to a pretty good start, and just kind of went out there and rode my own race, and yeah, I got the win. It was cool.
Hey, this is Eli Tomac, and you're watching the AMSOIL Arenacross Series on Fox Sports 1.
Everyone's having a good time here at Van Andel Arena in Grand Rapids. Maybe get a free t-shirt from AMSOIL Arenacross. All you got to do is make some noise. Now it's time for the head-to-head matchup. We started with 8. We're down to 4. We're about to see Bobby Canary, Willie Browning go at it, and then we'll see Gavin Faith and Kyle Regal. They've made it this point. Only one rider will take that valuable championship point. I don't know if I would want to race a head-to-head with Bobby Canary.
No, not after last night. Everybody's a little afraid of racing Bobby, and he gets a good start and looks over. Now, this is the key right here. Will Willie get his jump line down? Well, I don't know if he's going to get it good enough in this head-to-head, but he's definitely going to look to get it figured out for the main event.
All right, again, I told you, you have to kind of wipe away that memory of last night. It looks like he's done it because he's kept it on 2 wheels. No incidences here. Now he's just trying to put some separation between himself and the only other rider on the track. He's doing the power through the whoops mode.
Yeah, he definitely is, and he's looking good at it too. And like you said, he wants to erase last night's memory, just move on. He believes that he should be a contender in this championship, so he needs races like this to get his confidence back and get back on track.
He should be. He takes the victory here over Willie Browning. Now we'll see that next matchup. It's Kyle Regal and Gavin Faith, 2 teammates going at it, and Regal's been last year and this year's been the king of the head-to-head.
Yeah, he's very good at it. He seems to always get the start, and he's very aggressive, and he can do these 2-lap sprints. And if you're the team manager, Dave Analik, right now, you're pretty happy because no matter what, your guy's winning this race.
Gavin Faith for not having any time on the bike. It looks like he's kind of manhandling it through the whoops, but he's doing a pretty good job doing it that way.
Yeah, it works for him. He's very physical, and like you said, I think throughout this season he's going to figure out his bike and figure out his program better. For him to be this fast this soon, that's scary for the rest of the competition.
But he's not going to take the win here. So the head-to-head matchup, Bobby Canary, Kyle Regal, 2 pros that have been in Monster Energy Supercross going at it here in Arenacross. It's a bull ring. It's tight. And a switch, a crossover coming down the front straight.
Yeah, that was very important for Kyle to get out of the gate. He was on the outside, so in order to get that start, he had to get the jump and crossover. And it's something we've seen so far this year in almost every race. Kyle Regal can get out of the gate.
Did you see Bobby Canary didn't have enough run? He had to downshift in the whoops. That's never a good sign when you're having to downshift in the middle of those whoops.
Well, what that means is he wasn't able to get a good enough run at him, so he kind of ran out of power, had to downshift. And you can see him back there now kind of fooling around with a little bit of a jump line. He's going to try to figure out something else. He's got 2 15-lap main events coming up, so he's got to figure out his lines and get ready for those finals.
Well, Kyle Regal does it again. He is the king of the head-to-head.
I'm with Darian Sinai. So far, the 2015 season's been good to you. 2 nights into racing, it's been very successful. Last year in 2014, you had a rough start, a couple injuries that held you back from getting your road to Supercross points, but this year, so far, so good?
Yeah, this year's been quite a bit better than last year. Just came out this year prepared. Last year wasn't too good. I ended up getting injury, so I couldn't finish the road to Supercross. And this year came out and gotten some lights wins and made the mains in the big class.
Darian does definitely look strong. Now we move to the L to the C to the Q. The last chance qualifier, 16 riders vying for 2 spots. Only 2 move on to the main event. And when you move to the main events, it's not just 1, it's 2 main events.
That's right, and if you're Mike McDade right now, you just want to get this over with. Get in that main event, turn your season around, and right there, that's about the biggest hole shot I think we've seen this season.
Is that a new ignition setting? What was that? He launched out of there.
Well, that's someone that wants to get in this LCQ, win it, and get out of it.
And he's already been in a few main events this year. For him not to be in the top 3 is one thing, but a top 5, 10, not making mains, that's just not Mike McDade's style. I don't know what Junior Jackson said to him heading into this last chance qualifier, but it might be one of those, hey, you got to get it together, bud. You've been doing this too long.
Yeah, this is a title contender, but the lucky thing for him is that he has a long season. He can make up ground. It's going to be a hard fight for him, but he needs to get in there and avoid these last chance qualifiers, because these are the kind of races where things go bad and you find yourself watching those main events.
Cody Van Buskirk in second, the 5.70 KTM. Making that left-hand turn, getting that wide line. You want to hit that whoop section as hard and as straight as possible.
Yeah, well, if you're going to hammer him, if that's the decision you're making going in,
right,
you got to bank up that wall and get a run at him, because the harder you come in, the better chance you have of staying at top. When you come in slow, then you're relying on all your power to do it, and that's just not going to work. It's all entry speed when it comes to whoops.
And what's the key when you're doing it like that? Do not let the front end drop or it gets ugly fast.
Up, keep yourself back and keep on that throttle.
Oh!
Just like that. That was a little bit squirrely at the end, but he pulled it out.
You can't let off in that situation, though. You let off, you're definitely going down.
That's right. That's why you got to ride it out, and the best way to ride it out is to keep that grip twisted.
Keep it pinned. A little more right hand. And separated himself a little bit from Strubig. Strubig back in third, Hand in fourth, Elliott in fifth, but only 2 guys are going to move on to the main event. Much better that time around.
Yeah, that was a lot cleaner, and if you're Strubig right now, you're going to want to make a run. This is only a 8-lap race. You got about 3 laps to go. You don't have time to really think about a pass. You have one opportunity, and that's to get on the guys rear end and make the move.
I've had many riders tell me they hold their breath in the whoops. After you exit the whoops, are you already starting to think about the whoops the next time you come around in Arenacross?
Well, when the whoops are a difficult section for you, and it's something that you typically avoid, and when you practice and it's something that you really don't like, then that's exactly what happens. You hold your breath, you get to the very last whoop, and then you think about it the entire next lap. And sometimes it's better to just avoid that. Find a good jump line, and then you can focus on the rest of the track and really pick it up.
Mike McDade trying to power through. You see him square up. Works a little bit from left to right. No problems there in that rhythm section. And you talked about the track at the start of our GoPro track preview about how the dirt consistency. I'm starting to see a little looser top layer starting to get thrown around, starting to get a little slippery.
Yeah, this top layer is starting to kind of throw itself off the track, and we're getting down to a very slick layer. If you come out of the corner after the finish line jump, it's very slippery, and the whoops are starting to break down as well. So Mike McDade, great ride for him. Get in that main event, and let's start getting some points and get back up toward that championship hunt.
What do they say? You've got to be in it to win it, and Mike McDade and Van Buskirk both are in those main events. Josh Strubig, your next chance is in Colorado. Yep, it's a perfect fit. Don't go anywhere. We still have more AMSOIL Arenacross right after this. It all comes down to this. Robbie Floyd, Daniel Blair here with you at Van Andel Arena, Grand Rapids, Michigan. You think these fans aren't revved up? Well, they're about to see the best of the best, the guys that have qualified to make it to this spot. We started with countless numbers of riders getting in through the day qualifiers to be in the top 30. Now we're down to just those last few trying for one of those 3 spots on the victory podium. Jacob Hayes, your top qualifier. Where does he pick in that number 2?
Well, it looks like he's going to pick himself right on the outside of Bobby Kanaira. He must have found a gate that he really likes, because normally the guys want to be in the inside, but he chooses the outside gate. We'll see how it turns out for him.
Not so good. He gets pushed out by Kanaira.
And the rookie, Darian Sinai, the Road to Supercross rider, grabs the whole shot. What a way.
Whoa! Bobby Kanaira.
That was Bobby Kanaira over the berm into the tunnel.
He got the Yahoo effect in the whoops and just shot him off that berm. The green flag is out, but Bobby Kanaira off the end of the track. Let's take a look at that one more time. Watch the blue bike on the right.
Oh, that...
With a pirouette, that is ugly. Luckily, those are tough bikes. He's up and running quick.
Yeah, look at him up on his bike. He knows there's valuable points to be made. He had to get back on that bike and get those points.
Clutch back down, and he takes off, and he's still on the lead lap. We've already seen 1 red flag this year in the season. He's hoping for that now, so he doesn't have to make up that full lap as they start single file. But Sinai looks good, but on the inside, Matt Gerke takes over the lead.
Wow, that was a great run through the whoops, too. Matt got a good run in, powered all the way through, and he had the inside line. If you're going to make a pass in the whoops, you got to be in the inside to make that block pass in the corner.
The Monster Energy Team Green Rider moves back to second. He's charging on that outside, but you have the Babbitt's Monster Energy Kawasaki Amsoil rider throttling through the whoops.
Great run through the whoops. You know, he's got them figured out, and we're seeing the difference in lines right there. They got a guy jumping, we got a guy hammering. But if you can hammer and you can do it right, it is the faster way through.
You know who was the hammer back in my day when I was live event calling these things was Mad Mike Jones.
Oh, yeah.
No matter how tall the whoops are, he wouldn't try and find a rhythm. He would find a way to blow up that whoop every single lap.
Yeah, now we got Gavin Faith sitting in third, and he's actually going to be reeling in Darian Sinai, and he's doing the hammer through the whoops too, so we'll see if that pays off for him, if he can get himself close enough to make a pass.
Whoa, casing a little bit is Jacob Hayes, and he gets run high, and Hayes almost going down, and look at Kyle Regal just seat bounce everybody.
Wow, that's a benefit. You go over the catapult and you pass 3 guys in one shot. Good move for Kyle Regal. That's a way to make up ground quick.
Taking advantage of the situation, and you've said it in previous telecasts. You want to try and make those passes early, as we're seeing Kanaira maybe with a little bit of a difficulty. He's looking around now. He might have some mechanical issues.
Well, I think he's a lap down. I think he wants to make up for last night's brutality, and he's going to get out of the way and let the guys go by. And that's actually a fair move by Bobby. Let the guys that are racing for this race, for the win, you know, let them go by and just get out of their way.
Steve Magidson, that's Slagaware KTM out of Ohio.
Jacob Hayes, he's been working on that pass for the last couple laps, so he finally makes the move, gets himself up into, looks like he's about to 7th place now.
Darian Sinai actually holding on pretty good back in 2nd place, and holding on and going down. He tried wheel tapping in that front end drop like we talked about, and he goes over the bar.
Yeah, he wheel tapped in, and then when he went for his 2nd triple, looks like he kind of nosed down, and looks like he's holding his wrist or his arm of something.
So Faith moves up a position. Gerke still out in front. Now he gets to see what happened.
He's still got that bike in the way, so he's going to be cautious to the whoops and get by that thing. Hopefully by next lap they can get the bike out of the way and he can get back on track.
Bounce is still out of that triple. Matt Gerke looks to be in control, and especially his closest competitor. He almost has a full straightaway. He does have a full straightaway lead over Gavin Faith on that Tylube Husqvarna.
Yeah, good ride for him, making his debut this weekend, and this is a way to make up ground on those points. You know, he's starting outside the top 10 as well, but a good race like this will be a chance for him to make up ground and get himself into that top 10.
Seat bouncing there, trying to find his rhythm with Arenacross. Matt Gerke, who's out in front, said it at our first round in Cincinnati. He said it's a lot different than what he thought. It is tighter. You have to be aggressive. The track changes because you're going around it so darn fast, and there's 2 main events. I mean, it's a whole different approach to racing if you're used to Monster Energy Supercross or any other racing for that.
Well, it's definitely tighter, and the lap times are quicker, so you're constantly going around the track, and you got 16 guys out here on the spot.
Whoa!
And that was Kyle Regal, and he takes out our leader.
I think it was Jacob Hayes and Kyle Regal, and now we have a lead change. Matt Gerke drops back. Gavin Faith is going to move up a spot.
Wow, Matt Gerke was involved in that. It looks like he was coming around the backside of the first turn. It must have been Regal's bike that flew over, and I don't know if it hit him or what, but Gerke was tied up with his bike.
Unbelievable. The lanes crossed over into each other, and it is Hayes. Hayes, I think, got into Regal, and Regal shot off and hit Gerke, our leader, and the benefactor is now Gavin Faith.
Wow, sometimes it's about being in the right place at the right time, and for Gavin Faith, that's exactly the key. And for Matt Gerke, it's, I guess, being in the wrong place at the wrong time.
What can he do? Absolutely nothing. I mean, you don't look to the left. Right there, right where he's at right now, is where a bike just happened to cross lanes. It happens in all forms of race.
That's unfortunate for him. He looked like he was going to have his first main event win of the season. Now he's sitting second, so he can't be happy. But you know what? Short memory in Arenacross. Just move on. We got one lap to go. Get those points. It's a long championship. I know you want to win, but sometimes you just got to accept second when crazy things like that happen.
We've seen how fast he's been in his heat race, and now we're seeing how fast, how consistent he is in the main events. And oh, as I say that front wheel wanted to turn, but he's one turn away from taking his first AMSOIL Arenacross main event victory, and there he does it. Gavin Faith takes the win on the Tylube Fly Factory Connection Husqvarna out of Fort Dodge, Iowa. Doing Fort Dodge proud. The last guy to win out of Fort Dodge was Chad Pedersen. And swap has to be thumbs up right now for that one. Faith, Gerke, and Browning on top of that podium. Steinke, his best finish of the year in fourth. Stephen Mages in fifth. And what a ride for Gavin Faith, taking the win.
Gavin, it was a wild and crazy race behind you. I'm sure you're happy that you were out front and stayed out of that mess.
Yeah, it was a crazy race. I didn't get the best jump off the gate, and ended up tucking around the inside, coming around pretty good, and yeah, there's some carnage everywhere around there. So luckily I was able to stay up and get my first AMSOIL Arenacross main event win. Just got to give it up to Tylube Tough Racing Husqvarna for all the support.
Congratulations to Gavin Faith. Junior Jackson having to fire up Bobby Canari's bike. He's got another main event to go. Welcome back to Crazy Town here in Grand Rapids, Michigan. An eventful main event number one. So we'll do it again. Main event number two about to kick off. The same riders. We had an 8-rider invert. So the winner picks a suitcase. It's either 0, 8, or the full field. He picks 8, so that front row is probably going to switch around a lot.
Yeah, and if you're Jacob Hayes or Kyle Regal, you're not too happy with that finish, and you're even more upset now because you got to go in the back row again. You didn't get that lucky 16 invert.
Let's find out who gets the start here in main event number 2. And somebody looked like Bobby Canary taking a shortcut on the left-hand side.
Stephen Mages getting the whole shot. You know, he's been getting great starts all season, and what a better time than right here in the main event to grab a whole shot.
And a nice smooth run, even though he was rhythming his way through the whoops. That was very fast, very smooth. You didn't see a lot of jarring there.
No, it was a very clean run, and he needed that because on the first lap, that's when someone can get up the inside and get you. So if you get the whole shot, make your first pass through the whoops clean, that usually will get you, safely out front.
Willie Browning on the Team College Hunks hauling chunk KTM out of Ohio back in second. And it looks like, is that Faith worked his way up into third?
Yes, Gavin Faith up to third right now. And here's what we're going to want to check out right here in the whoops. Both these guys are jumping. We talked about it earlier about the difference between hammering and jumping. Well, our two leaders are both hopping. They're both doing it from different sides. But look, 3, 3, 3, 1. That seems to be the hot ticket right now. As the whoops have progressed throughout the night, they've gotten worse and worse. Looks like the jumping line's working out.
I don't know. Hammer, hammer, hammer back there in third and fourth doing pretty good. Two teammates, Faith, and you see Kyle Regal in fourth on the 4. The Tough Racing Husqvarna entries. But yeah, Mages is pulling away. Looks like a Yamaha down. Is that Canary again?
I think that was actually Mike McDade who went down, but there's Bobby Canary right there. I think he had a rough first lap as well.
And not a good time for the Yamaha squad here tonight. We're seeing a little bobble by Browning on that inside. Closing up now is Gavin Faith. Faith takes that outside. He's one to go inside to push him wide in that first turn.
Yeah, and Willie's found himself in a tough position right now. I mean, he wants to focus on the leader. He wants to chase down Stephen Mages, but he's got Gavin Faith breathing down behind him, so now he's forced to ride a little defensive. And when you start thinking behind you, the leader can creep away. So if we're Willie right now, you're wanting to stay focused ahead. You want to stay focused on the leader. Don't worry about the guy behind you.
Jacob Hayes starting to work his way through the field. Remember, he had That misfortune in the first main made contact with Kyle Riegel. He's up into 6 now, and this is your series points leader. He's got that red background on the number 2, signifying he was the points leader coming into tonight.
Yeah, and he can't be happy about what happened in that last main event. You know, he's the points leader. He wants to come away with here with the red plate as well, but he lost so much valuable points. So right now he's going to want to make up ground as best he can, and it's hard from the back row, but it looks like he's doing well to be already up into 6th after 7 laps. That's a pretty good start for him.
I think Browning closed in a little bit on Mages. He's not backing out. I thought Mages was pulling away, but Wild Willie closing in. Maybe a little bobble there from Mages. This could get good. We're at the halfway point.
Yeah, this is good. Willie was able to break away from Faith, and now he's got his focus back to the front of the pack, back on Mages. So if he can apply that pressure, he can make that pass. And he had a great first main event, so if he can get this win in this main event, he'll be looking at a good overall.
Kyle Riegel back and forth on a different bike this year as well. Dave Vanilak with Tough Racing, switching manufacturers for the 2015 season. Kyle said he thinks it's really helping him in the whoops, and this is a whoop type track. I think it'll make or break you tonight.
Yeah, definitely will, and it looks like Gavin Faith and Kyle Riegel have both adopted the jumping line. So it looks like everybody, well, Matt Gerke there in the back of the pack, you can still see him hammer, but this top 5 right here, we're all jumping. So it looks like the whoops have finally won the night, and they're done hammering them.
A lot of cheering from the mechanics area there. Yellow flag still in that first turn, signifying watch out. You can still make passes, do what you have to do. Steve Broman, the rider that's down 731 out of Pennsylvania, had been under the tutelage of Mad Mike Jones. I know I mentioned him earlier. He's been teaching him the past few years.
Yeah, definitely having a good season the last 2 years. He's always a threat to win. He's a very fast rider and aggressive. He's had an unfortunate night tonight. But look at Gavin Faith makes the pass on Willie Browning. And you know, Willie lost track of Mages over the last 2 laps. And Gavin was able to make the move. And now look at the lead Mages have. I know it's not much. This is maybe a second and a half, maybe 2 seconds. In Arenacross, that's a very comfortable lead. You're able to focus forward. You don't have to worry about the guy behind you. So right now, Stephen Mages has got to love the little comfort zone he has behind him.
I think it's comfy except for you're the leader. And what happens when you're the leader? You're the first guy to get into more lap traffic. So then look out for the second, third, fourth place guy. And you see those guys coming through the field now. Look how tight they are. I'm seeing a Suzuki sneak in the picture as well. But Kyle Riegel now starting to get a little pressure from Jared Steinke.
Oh, Jared Steinke, and he's not able to jump the catapult on his motorsport.com KTM. He had a good race going. He got 4th in the first main event. And he's still sitting 6th, so he's still sitting good for an overall. But I definitely don't think he's happy about getting passed by Matt Gerke right there.
To use some of the power of that mustache. He looks like Snidely Whiplash in the old cartoons. Quite a mean mustache he has. Oh, getting some aggression going on there. And able to clear that double.
Matt Gerke.
Gerke able to do it.
Wow.
Riegel not.
Great ride by Matt Gerke. You know, there's not much passing going on in this main event, but Gerke has gotten 2 guys in 2 laps. This is a guy who's moving through the pack right now, and he sees the checkered flags coming and looks like 2 laps. He wants to make up as many positions as he can.
White flag is out, the last lap for main event number 2, and it looks like Gavin Faith is in second. If he holds on to that spot, he will still be our overall winner of the night. But it's about main events, and this is your main event winner if he can just keep it on 2 wheels for 2 more turns. It's his first time that he has won since Milwaukee of last year. Congratulations, the number 12 of Steve Mages, saying thank you, Lord, for that victory. And the Ohio boy on the Slack-Aware Moto Extremes Mica Metals KTM takes his 2nd career victory. Gerke in 4th, Riegel in 5th, Jared Steinke rounding out the top 6. As we look at AMSOIL Arenacross overall results for the night, Gavin Faith, the first overall win for a Husqvarna ever. Mages in 2nd, Willie Browning in 3rd. I love the consistency out of Willie Browning this early in the season. We're not at that race to championship, but he's racing for wins.
Well, I'm here with Willie Browning. Willie, we talked tonight before the race. You said, Daniel, I'm getting old. I'm 30 years old, but I really want to get another podium before my career ends. And here we are, 3 rounds in the championship, and you already got one.
Dude, absolutely, man. I never had doubts, but, man, I knew it was going to be a tough one out there, and I stuck to my guns. I was just super consistent tonight. You know, call it crazy. You're supposed to skim whoops, but jumping through them, it's been solid from the beginning of the series till now. So I'm just going to keep this momentum going and just try and keep cranking out solid motos and see where I'm at the end.
So I know you're a family man. I know that as soon as you get back to the pit, you're going to make a call to the family. How's the kids going to feel about Dad getting on the podium tonight?
They're going to be totally pumped, man. They're probably going to be a little bit bummed they're not here on the step up here with me celebrating it, but it'll be good to see them tomorrow, and we'll probably go get some donuts or something.
2 top 5s for Stephen Mages tonight. That is good enough for second overall for the KTM rider.
I'm here with Stephen Mages, tonight's second place finisher. Stephen, we've seen you over the years. You've always had the speed, but this year something different. Consistency has entered your game, and tonight was a big step. Getting second overall, you got to be happy.
Yeah, that first moto, got a decent start. Actually, it was pretty far back and just worked my way through, stayed consistent. And that second moto, got the whole shot and just didn't look back, and I knew I could do it. Just had the lap times, just knew I had to get that start.
So what is it that's different with you this year? We've seen a huge change in you. Obviously, it's showing in the results. I think you're moving up in the point standings as well. What's been the big difference that's put you on the podium?
Well, I've been riding a lot, and I prepared right. I changed my program up and just putting the time in on the bikes and learning over the years with Arenacross. I mean, Arenacross is a different breed of racing in motocross. I mean, it's you got to be smart and strategize, get good starts. So.
Well, congratulations. We look forward to seeing more growth with you throughout the season. Stephen Mages, second overall on the night. Congratulations.
What a race for the Iowa boy on the Tylube Team Fly Factory Connection. Husqvarna, he was strong the entire night.
Well, I'm with tonight's overall winner, Gavin Faith, putting together a solid night of racing. Gavin, we talked after the heat race. It's a long championship. You got a lot of points to make up. That's one way to do it.
Yeah, definitely. Couldn't be more happy. I mean, to get out there on such a wild night and stay clean and get out front. Last night was a little crazy. I probably had one of the hardest crashes I've had in a long time, and to regroup from that and come out tonight with a win, I'm pumped.
You know, this is a big step for the Husqvarna brand, making their debut into Arenacross, and I'm sure the bosses at Husky got to be happy being able to see you come out here on your second night of Arenacross, get the overall win, and it's got to be happy for them.
Yeah, the Huskies working good out there. Just got to give it up to the whole team, Tylube for being behind me, and Tough Racing, and obviously Husqvarna, and my mechanic, and my whole family and friends. Thank you very much.
Well, congratulations to Gavin Faith on your first overall Arenacross win. Look forward to seeing you throughout the rest of the season.
As we look at the championship points, they don't really mean a lot until we get to the end of the season. You just need to be in that top 10. One guy who's not in that top 10 is Zach Ames after injury last night. Look at the venues we'll be at in 2015. Yeah, we've been to some of these cities, but not a lot of these venues, including the Tacoma Dome. I love that place. That's a big track.
From feast to famine for Babbitt's Monster Energy Kawasaki. It was feast last week. This week, it was famine. Not one guy on the top of the box, or anywhere on the box for that matter. But Gavin Faith shows that Husqvarna is for real.
Yeah, Gavin Faith came out strong tonight, making his Arenacross debut and getting Husqvarna their very first AMSOIL Arenacross victory. And he laid a precedent on what it takes to get the job done. Stay consistent, stay out of trouble, and you'll be on the top of the podium.
And he has a strong teammate in Kyle Regal as well, but one guy who's been more consistent than anyone out there is Matt Gerke.
Yeah, Matt Gerke now a 16-point lead in the championship, and you know what? He hasn't won one main event. He's just staying out of trouble, staying solid, showing that what it takes to win a championship is to stay out of the mess, which all the other guys seem to be going right into.
And stay on that podium. Well, that's it for Van Andel Arena in Michigan. Follow us at arenacross.com, Twitter, Facebook, wherever. Just follow Daniel and I at Arenacross. We'll see you next time. We'll be in Nashville.